Got a 2-foot bucket here. Put some edge guards on. Just finish grinding it all up. These are cat parts. This is a newer bucket, so we're trying to protect it. Got these welded on there. So, got those tacked on there. So these ones are made for a little bit of a bigger bucket, I think, but the smallest ones that they sell. So there's a little bit of a gap here, but I hold them up. So when you have the bucket like this, you get kind of a flatter. You don't have these two lines digging in when you go to like kind of like grade up a little bit. But we'll weld those things on. We'll be back. Tell you what, I don't know what wire this is. It's 45 though, 0.045, and it works out great for doing some big fills and stuff like that. I love using it, and it welds up really nice. It looks really good. This is actually a two-person That's how it came out. Alright, so we have the 320 digging bucket, 336 digging bucket. This is going to be kind of a part 2 of doing some bucket repairs or bucket armoring. The 336 is going to get the edge guards in between the teeth. This bucket needs a full bar up job. We typically bar up over factory cat bars, as we don't really think they do very much. So to save a bucket that's 20,000 plus, a good bar up job, something like what's on this 320 bucket, we find very valuable. This is the 320 bucket. We're also going to do edge guards on this machine. When I barred this up a little over a year ago, we didn't really have those in mind, but now we're kind of standardizing, putting them on everything. So this will get them, this will get them, and so this is a lot of the stuff that will be going on. These are also some corner guards for the 336 bucket. So those things are nice, protect that corner, keep that bucket in good shape. So I gotta clean off some of this mud, and then we start laying these things out, welding them on. I'll come back to you. So I just got all the mud off. So we've had this machine for about a month. We haven't even done a service on it yet, so it's under 250 hours. This edge was straight across, so you can really see the wear already starting to come into effect. And if you continue to go, you'll actually go and it'll be worn like that. It'll just get crazier and crazier until you rip these off. That's obviously way down the road, but to make it last that long, this is what we're doing. This is what we've decided to do, and protect it and do as much good to the bucket as we can. So before I can put them on, we have to flip this bucket, and I got to grind the other side, and then I can start to tack them on and weld them on. Now all I have is the 304, so hopefully that has enough nut to kind of move this bucket around. You will see. This is pretty crazy. So we've had this machine, like I said, haven't even put 250 hours on it, and this edge was just about brand new. Now it's kind of hard to tell, but this right here was as thick as this. You can see how much that has worn into this kind of shape here, and they are all like that. Like, look at this huge gouge right here, but they're all like that. So this is really good that it's getting done right now, because every day that this thing runs, it is in some of the most abrasive stuff, and it's just gonna wreck the bucket. So it's good that we're doing this, but we gotta clean those things up, and then let's see how one fits. These things are like twice the size of the ones, that 312 bucket that I did. Oh yeah, look at that. Fits nice in there too. Fits nice in there. Look at that. That looks awesome. Alright, so we got this side all welded on. Got a couple passes on it. Nothing too crazy. It's really not a whole lot that's going to be yanking on it, but still have the top. Trying to decide if I want to continue flipping it over and do the corners, and then at the end, when the bucket's back down in kind of its typical orientation, weld the top. It's probably the best thing to do, I guess. So we'll work on rolling this thing up onto the ears here, and we'll keep on going. So I got 4 of the 5 corner bits on. They're not quite lining up with these bars, but additional bars will be put over this at some point. We're just trying to get it kind of ready for crushing. We only have really 1 day to do this anyways. It's going back Monday morning, but I'm starting to weld it on. It's coming out pretty good, and it's sweet. Gonna be awesome. Gonna really save the life of this bucket, but I gotta get back to it. I got one more going kind of here. It's the one that's just a little bit different. It's a little smaller here. Kind of comes together, so that will go there. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So welding these on, one of the problems that I was coming across was I have quite a gap here. It's about 1/2 inch. These bars have about 1/2 inch left on them, and so my original idea was to fill these actually in and then bar back over, because I'm going to use a skinnier bar on top of this. So instead of trying to fill these giant voids, put another bar in here and weld it up. I don't have that, except I do. So I did this here, and I took that out of old project. I have 1/2 by 2 inch flat stock here, so I'll just have to cut strips. I don't have enough to do exactly what I want to do, and I'm not barring this right now. So I'll cut another strip for right here, fill this in, cut a piece for in here, a piece for in there, a piece for in there, and then when I get over to this side, I'll put those on first so they can really weld on all the sides. Right now I'm only going to be able to weld on just sides that are exposed, because I'm not cutting those back off. Alrighty, so we got our 1/2 inch blocks on, and now we can put the other 4 cutters on there. I gotta grind off the paint, but we're ready for the next step. Alrighty, we got all these sides all welded up, and we got the backs done, and so we have one more here, but I think if I push the bucket down like that, so the teeth are kind of by the teeth of that bucket, I'll be able to get these welds right here and do this last bar, do that side, and then once I have that completed, I'll flip it back over like how that bucket's oriented, and then I can complete these welds once the bucket's kind of like how that one, sitting like that one. But it's looking meaty. She's looking heavy duty, that is for sure. So I got these corner bits basically all done. Still have a bead here that I have to do on all 8, but I did get that back side of those edge guards. So I think what I'm going to do, because I got just about 0 gas left, I do have a small tank left. Just flip it and make sure I can finish what I have on here. I might not be able to get to that last corner bit, but it is what it is. Majority of the protection that I wanted to get on there is on there. But I'm gonna see if I can flip this thing back over. It will be interesting for sure, I think. I don't know if it might make sense to push it on its side and kind of do it that way rather than going back over the heel side. But we will see. Alrighty. After some struggling from the 304, finally got it back on its right side, so we'll weld up the tops of the 8 corner bits and the rest of those edge protectors, and hopefully there's enough gas. I'll put the edge protectors on that bucket, and then we'll just put those last corner bits on when the thing comes back here for the rest of the bar up. So we ran out of gas, but I got everything that's on there welded on. We do have a much smaller bottle, so I think what I'm going to do is that everything that's on there is totally welded on. So instead of welding something else on there, I'm going to swap over the 320 bucket and see if I can put those edge protectors on. The reason that bucket's going to be coming back here at some point. Got the armor that I think is necessary to be on that bucket for a couple more months of fooling around with rocks. I still have some edge guards, or not edge guards, corner bits that need to go on. There's one more that goes right here. Is that totally necessary? I don't think so. There's one more factory cat wear bar there, but that's certainly taking the brunt of the force. So I think we'll be okay for another couple hundred hours before it comes back for the rest of the barring up. Maybe 100 hours or so. But those edge guards are all on. So this one, so you can see right here, this bucket was barred up. And what I used to do, and I'll show you when I get this bucket flipped up, there's a 3/4 block right here on the underside that I remake this right here, and then they're like just will go right down. The rock at that job is just something else. So we'll get this mud cleaned off, we'll get it ground down, we'll see if we can get those edge guards put on there. So we got these things kind of basically prepped. So this is what's on the back here. I got these two blocks, which are 3/4 by 3 inch by whatever that dimension is there. And so you can see, I mean, these things take some serious abuse. And so this is welded right here. There's a bead of weld here But you can see that these are really starting to cup, and so it's not only cupping this way, it's also cupping this way, or sorry, this way, just like the bucket over there. So the thinking was to put these on just like that. Now these actually fit really nice and snug on here. These are for a 336 bucket, which does have a thicker edge plate here, but because I have these on here, it actually worked out perfectly. The only thing is they stick out past. So when you go and you put the bucket flat like that, and you go to kind of grade up, you know, we do that all the time. Whether we're trying to just smooth out mud so it will drive over the weekend, or digging a foundation hole, or the shank lines have always bothered us. These lines are going to bother us. So what I've come up with is, this is a piece of 2" by 3/4, and go all the way across just like that. And I have a feeling it will wear itself into place. Obviously it'll go from that side to that side, but I'll get that piece cut up and we'll see what it looks like on there. Maybe I'm being dramatic, I don't know, we'll see. So we got that bar all welded up, and we got the edge guards all welded up, or shrouds, whatever you want to call them. So now we'll flip it back over into this position here, and all we have to do is just weld the top of those edge things, and we're good to go. Alrighty, both buckets are done. Been a long Saturday. It's 6 o'clock, but they are both completed. I'll probably load those tomorrow. I don't feel like doing anything anymore, but yeah, we should be in good shape with keeping these buckets in shape. So, alrighty, see you on the next one.